Hello everybody, I think we're online. Today is the launch of Lorwyn Eclipsed on Magic the Gathering Arena, and it is also a Wednesday, so it happens to be Midweek Magic. I think that's very fortunate. And I want to spend like maybe an hour or two digging around, seeing what cards we have, seeing if there's anything interesting, that kind of stuff. Hope you hang out with me as I do that. Maybe see something interesting yourself. See if I can get this video game on screen. I've already bought some packs. I think I even have the ability to get one more. Is there anything cool here? Ooh, the Llanowar Elves I actually like. Maybe we'll get this today. With my extra money. But for now, let's get one more, since I have it. There we are. I have a golden pack and 14 Lorwyn Eclipsed. That's all I can muster from the last couple of days of playing. Okay, we got some mythics too. It's a Lorwyn one. 4 with hybrid mana. Vivid. At the beginning of your main turn, reveal cards from your library until you reveal X non-land cards, where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. For each of these colors, you may exile a card of that color from among the revealed cards, then shuffle. You may cast the exiled cards this turn, so you can reveal up to 5 non-land cards. I suppose. I don't remember if colorless counts as a color. So maybe with a bunch of... No, but it's at the beginning of your first main phase. This happens every turn. And it's in a deck that has a lot of colors. So you would have the green and the blue to ramp up. I don't know. Interesting. Corral of the Void. This is from Edge of Eternities. Creature you control. Whenever enchanted creature attacks, put target creature card from defending player's graveyard into the battlefield under your control, tapped and attacking. At the beginning of your end step, sacrifice this aura. Okay. Interesting. Another Kithkin from the new set. 1 hybrid mana, Figure of Fable. 1, you get this creature becomes a Kithkin Scout with base power 2/3. For 3 mana, the creature is a Scout. Becomes a Kithkin Soldier. This creature is a soldier, becomes a Kithkin Avatar. That's interesting. Wonder how that works. I guess you can... It doesn't tap, so you get to constantly upgrade this. That's a very interesting card. That's very sick. I like that. Progressively gets bigger and bigger. And more mana. Very nice. Let's see the mythics. It's an Edge of Eternities one. Guess I have that one. Should know what it does. There we go. Mythic from the new set. Deceit. This creature enters if 2 mana was spent to cast it. Return up to 1 other target non-land permanent. Okay, so depending on how you cast this, you either return up to 1 target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, which could be yours or theirs, or if you spend black on it, Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. You can evoke, which means you may do it for its evoke cost. It is sacrificed when it enters the battlefield. Interesting. Get trample and get +5, +X, where X is the number of creatures you control. It's a serious card, but I haven't seen much of it in play. Apparently there's already one deck with Deceit in it, but I think the most interesting one is this. Oh, and it has protection from each of your opponents. I didn't even read that. Wow. I really like that card. Let's open all of them. Yeah, there we go. There's the end. Alright. 4 mana. Convoke. Which was your creatures can help you cast a spell. Oh yeah, alright. So it gets cheaper the more creatures you have and it gets discounted. The owner of target non-land permanent puts it into their library second from the top or the bottom. So not a destroy, but a... I don't know. Not a big fan. Midnight Tilling. Mill 4 cards, then you may return a permanent card from among them to your hand. Find some draw. Probably going to be useful in reanimator decks. Heirloom Auntie. This creature enters with 2/1 counters on it. However, another creature you control dies, surveil one, and then remove a thing. Okay, so sacrifice decks have some new nice fodder. When this creature dies, draw a card. That's a very magic card, isn't it? And the art is much like it. It feels like a magic set for once. Convoke and Vigilance. Yeah, this is just a stick. This is just a thing you can play. 4 mana. When this enters, exile up to 1 target non-land permanent opponent controls. And gain 2 life. Okay, so this is a slightly more expensive seam rip, whatever it's called. 1/1 disaster. 4 mana. When this creature becomes tapped, target creature an opponent controls gets -3 until end of turn. That's quite disabling. Seems very nice. Reluctant Dung God? Dung God? 3 mana 4/4. Already quite nice. This creature enters with 2 -1 counters. Or another creature you control enters while the creature has 1. Okay. So that's kind of the equivalent to the Auntie, isn't it? Even in mana. But it's... Huh. Okay, that's interesting. Scarblade Scout. 2 for 2/2. Lifelink when it enters, mill 2 cards. Okay. Self-mill. Stoic Grove Guide. 5 mana with a hybrid. 5/4. And for 2 with a hybrid. Exile this card from your graveyard. Create a 2/2 black green elf token. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay. Can get some extra bodies on there. Not too interesting to me personally. Timid Shield Bearer. 2 for 2/2. And then you pay 5 and it gets +1 until end of turn. Oh, creatures you control. Sorry, I was like, that's fairly expensive. 5 for 1/1. I don't know. Unexpected assistance. 5 mana with Convoke. Draw 3 cards, then discard a card. Okay. Straight up +2 with Convoke. That might be interesting. Blue decks are probably going to play this. That's a body. That's a changeling. So it could be anything. The art on it is so nice. Moon Glove Extractor. This creature attacks, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Okay, more draw for black, as if they needed it. Stratosaura. Has a basic land cycling, flying. It's a 5 mana 3/5. Target creature gains flying until end of turn. Feels like just a body. But like it's been so long since we've just had just a body, I feel. That maybe it's good. Barbed Bloodletter. 2 mana, artifact, equipment, flash. When the equipment enters attention to target you control, that creature gains Wither until end of turn. What's Wither? A source with Wither deals damage to creatures in the form of -1 counters. Okay, so it's permanent? It's until end of turn. Equipped creature gets +1/+2. Interesting. Oh, that's fantastic art. Look at that. Is that Omar Ryan or Rayan? I don't know how to pronounce it. Treefolk Warlock. Blighted Blackthorn. When this creature enters or attacks, you may blight 2. If you do, you draw a card and lose 1 life. To blight 2, put 2 1/1 counters on a creature you control. So it's not, I get to choose like 2 creatures that get -1 or something. It's specifically -2. I know blight is like a big mechanic in this set. Korath's Zealot. When this creature enters, exile the top card of your library until the end of the turn. You may play that card. Basic land cycling, 6 mana, 6/5. Yep. That feels like a body. Bone Club Berserker, 4 mana, 2/4. Creature gets +2 for each other goblin you control. Immediate staple in any goblin deck, I feel. Crossroad Watcher with a Kithkin. The art is a little bit funny, but I guess Kithkin were always a little bit funny. 3 mana, 3/3 with Trample. Whenever a creature you control enters, this creature gets +1 until end of turn. Green-white decks, maybe? Sparrow into Solitude, that's me depicted in the Enchantment Aura. For 2 mana, can't attack or block. Sacrifice this or exile the targeted creature for a bit more. If you feel like doing it. Keep power deals 4 damage to target tapped creature, destroy target enchantment. That's very versatile for 2 mana. Wandbane Preacher, 2 mana, 2/2. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, you gain 2 life. Okay, that could be something in a life gain deck. Wary Farmer. 3 mana, 3/3. At the beginning of your end step, if another creature enters the battlefield under your control this turn, Silver 1. Not too interested in that. Greavegill Scoundrel, 2 mana, 1/3. Vigilance. Whenever this creature attacks, you may tap another untapped creature you control. If you do, this creature can be blocked this turn. So if you buff it up with something, maybe. Reckless Ransacking. Look at that art. 2 mana, instant. Creates target creature. Gets +3/+2 until end of turn and creates a treasure token. So basically is a 1 mana thing. Flankin Guild Weaver. So a flamekin elemental sorcerer that weaves gold. Trample when creature enters, create a treasure token. That's an interesting body. Marrow Sky Swimmer. Convoke Flying Vigilance. This creature enters, create a 1/1 white and blue merfolk creature token. 4 mana for 2/2. Flying Vigilance. Alright. This creature enters 1/1 blue. And it's technically a 3/3 in 2 bodies. Is this interesting? Not much. If you can convoke it, sure. Maybe this is one of the things that enable convoke a little bit more, because it's technically you're tapping 2. Architect's Defenses. 2 mana enchantment aura with flash. Enchanted creature gains hexproof until end of turn and gets +1/+2 in general. So this is like a green save. I should change my category, excuse me. I've seen that. Midnight Tilling we've also seen. Mist Meadow Cancel. 5 mana, 4/3. The spell costs 1 less if you control Kithkin. This creature enters, draw a card. Okay, so this is a Kithkin archetype thing. How much do you need? Like 1 or 2? Kithkin? I guess even with 1 it's good value, considering that it's pure draw and it's a 4/3. So maybe. Monty Sentence. 2 mana. Sorcery. Tap an opponent. Okay, so it's either a duress or it's a stab for 2. I guess if you want to really be economical, sure. I don't know, maybe it'll be nice. But it's a cool bit of art. I do like that. Assert Perfection. 2 mana sorcery. Target creature you control gets +1/+0 until end of turn. It deals damage equal to its power up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. Usually these spells are roughly 3 mana. So maybe this is alright. Usually the sorceries too. Maybe this has a place in green. If not, it's an interesting option if you feel like you can justify it. A lot of times, yes, I think you can do that, especially when it fights it, it deals damage equals to its power, so it's basically removal and a buff until end of turn. Korath Mystic, 3 mana. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, this creature gets +2 power and gains vigilance until end of turn. Maybe an Is It prowess kind of decks, maybe. But then again, Is It prowess wouldn't be playing 4 or greater, so this is a little bit of a weird one. Tend the Sprigs. Look at that, that's cute. Search your library for a basic land card. Put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Then, if you control 7 or more lands and or treefolk, so lands and treefolk, create a 3/4 green treefolk creature token with reach. Okay, that's a very nice way of turning these mana searches for, like a creature. It's really good value, honestly. Maybe there's a treefolk archetype somewhere. New art for Evolving Wilds. That's nice. Appeal to Erdu. 4 mana instant with Convoke. 1 or 2 targeted creatures each get 2/+1 till end of turn. It's instant, so you can maybe mess someone up with it. 2 power is pretty good. And if this is like ideal if they've already announced and declared blockers. Sting Slinger. 3 mana, creature, goblin, warrior. For 3/3, so it's already paying. And we have 2 mana and tap, blight 1. This creature deals 2 damage to each opponent. So you self-blight, but you deal 2 damage. So like a goblin burn deck, maybe. And it's to each opponent, so commander people are going to be really happy about it. Nightmare Sower for 4. You get a 2/3 with flying and lifelink. Alright. Whenever you cast a spell during an opponent's turn, put a 1/1 counter on up to 1 target creature. This feels like a value uncommon. Like blue-black control people are gonna love this, I reckon. Explosive Prodigy. 2 mana for 1/1. It's an elemental sorcerer. And Vivid, when this creature enters, it deals X damage to target creature. Okay, so this is again part of that multicolor deck archetype. Vivid. Vivid is such a new keyword to me. Maybe it is a new keyword. I don't know. 3/3/2. This creature enters, return up to 1 target creature to its opponent's hand. So it's a slightly better mage than the. I think that one is 2 mana 2/2, if I'm not mistaken. Don't know. Flame Breeder, 2 mana 2/2. Add 2 mana in any combination of colors, spending this mana only to cast elemental spells or activate abilities of elemental sources. A weird mana dork. Oddly enough, I think would this have a place in Vivid decks? No, really, because it matters what color permanents you have. Seeing as elementals are part of Vivid decks, maybe this is an easy, cheap way of getting good mana. We'll see. Oh, look at that. That almost looks like a classic Magic card. Dawn Blessed Pendant. Oh no, it's not pendant, it's pennant. It's a 1 mana colorless artifact. This artifact enters, choose a type. Whenever a permanent you control of the chosen type enters, gain 1 life. And then for 2 mana and tap, sacrifice this artifact. Return target card of a chosen type from your graveyard to your hand. So it's kind of like... what is it? Consul's Authority, I think it's called. But it's for your stuff. There's already some support for kind of life gain. But considering that you can't do cats, elementals, elves, fairies, giants, goblins, kithkin, or merfolk, realistically, of the two, I don't know, maybe there's more support for some of these creature types. I haven't seen all the cards yet. But like Goblin strikes me as being able to work. Kithkin is probably going to work. Treefolk, maybe, but treefolk are probably going to be bigger creatures, so elves are obviously going to show up in green decks, but I don't know, I'm not convinced. Maybe this is good, I just can't see it yet. 3 mana, 3/2. Alright, sort of okay. Whenever this creature attacks, you may tap another untapped merfolk you control. When you do, return target creature card with mana 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay. So white has a straight up graveyard to battlefield pipeline in a life gain deck with all those Ajani's Pride Mates and all the other cards. Yeah, this could be fucking stupid, but it's specifically another untapped merfolk you control. How do you get merfolk in that without diluting the pool? I don't know. I feel like there's a life gain deck in here somewhere. Maybe I'll seek it out. There's a lot of support for this kind of stuff. Kin's Bale Aspirant. Let's hope that's how it's pronounced. That art is lovely. Look at that. It's a 1 mana 2/1. There's an additional cost to cast the spell Behold a Kithkin or pay 2. So it could be a 3 mana 2/1. To behold a Kithkin, choose a Kithkin you control or reveal a Kithkin card from your hand. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Oh. Paying 2 extra for this, to me, feels like a mistake. Maybe if you find a way of reducing Kithkin costs. I mean, it wouldn't reduce it because this is part of the rules text. And you can't reduce it under 1. So you would have to behold a Kithkin. So this is... I don't know. Maybe Kithkin decks are going to be cool. I don't understand them yet. Eclipsed Flamekin. 3 hybrid mana for 1/4. When this creature enters, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal an elemental, island, or mountain card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest of the bottom of your library in a random order. So this is a search for 3 mana into your hand. And it doesn't exile or put anything into graveyard. This might be interesting. Clearly the sort of is it elemental stuff is getting some support. Okay, there's a land now. As this land enters, choose a type, add 1 colorless, add 1 mana of any color, spend this mana only to cast the spell of a chosen type. Activate an ability of a source of its chosen type. Okay. Support for those kind of creature type decks. Weeping Willow. That's 3 hybrid and 1 colorless. For 3/6. Okay, sure. And it's a tree folk. But it's not green. There's the lifelink. Enters with 2 -1 counters. Alright, that's a 1/4 for 4 mana. And then 2 mana gets you to remove them from this creature. Turn target creature card with mana 3 or less from your graveyard to battlefield. Activate only as a sorcery. Okay, yeah, now I see it. Again, I'm inclined to think this is part of like a reanimated type deck. There was some support for milling that I saw earlier. I don't remember what color it was though. This is probably going to be good. We're already out of the territory of commons and uncommons. Holy shit. Encumbered Regery? I don't know. 2 mana 5/4. This is going to have -1s. That's 3 of those, so it turns into a 2/1. Which is still alright, I suppose. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, well, it has a -1 counter. It's a merfolk, so you can tap it with that other one that resurrects stuff from your graveyard. So this is probably excellent for that specific interaction. Otherwise, it also does it when it's attacking. I highly doubt you will be able to attack with this on turn 3 at all. But feels like exactly the thing you want. Burdened Stoneback, 2 mana 4/4. It's going to have minus counters on it. Yeah, it's a 2/2, which is still not bad. And for an additional 2 mana, you can remove a counter from this creature. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn as a sorcery. Okay, free attacks with this. And it's a giant warrior. I didn't see many giant cards, or at least they didn't make an impression on me. Who knows, maybe with some additional support. Excuse me, let me remove some pests. Bark of Doran for 2 mana. Equipped creature gets +1+. No, it's +0/+1. As long as the equipped creature's toughness is greater than its power, it assigns combat damage equals to its toughness rather than its power. Doesn't that mean that I could use this on a Adamantoise that, or like a Wall of Bossing, say? Wait a moment. We'll come back to this. This to me, this is interesting. Eclipsed Kithkin. 2 hybrid mana for 2/1. When this creature enters, you may look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a Kithkin forest or plains. Put it into your hand. Okay, this is more of that search archetype with Eclipsed Flamekin. That was more expensive, but it's essentially the same rules text. Alright. We didn't get a single mythic, by the way, which is fascinating. Let's start looking at the rares. Champion of the Path. 4 mana. 7/3. An additional cost to cast the spell. Behold an elemental and exile it. Okay. This is basically like a Yu-Gi-Oh! Special summon, I guess. Whenever another elemental you control enters, deals damage equal to its power to each opponent. That's stupid. That's a burn deck and a half. When this creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. Excuse me. So, it's the exile card you threw away at the start, I guess. Yeah, so it's a temporary Yu-Gi-Oh! Special summon. Okay, that's an interesting card. That's fascinating. More support for elementals. Scarsback Scrounger, 2 mana, 3/2. At the beginning of your first turn, your first main phase, sorry, you may blight 1 if you do create a treasure token. So generate mana at the beginning of every main phase. Okay, that's probably strong. It gives red a little bit of ramp in some way, which is quite good, I imagine. Look at that. Fantastic art. X and 1 red for an instant. End Blaze Epiphany deals X damage to target creature. When that creature dies this turn, exile a number of cards from the top of your library equal to its power. Then choose a card exiled this way. Until the end of your next turn, you may play that card. So it's a removal, and depending on the power of the creature you destroyed, you get to play, or I guess sort of mill search your library. Someone's going to destroy me with this. I am absolutely sure of it. But then again, I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. Oh, I just noticed that I'm covering all of this rules text. Give me a moment. Oh, no. All right. There we go. Sorry that this has been the case for the entire broadcast, all 36 minutes of it. But it's better late than never. Kin binding. Creatures you control get X, where X is the number of creatures that entered the battlefield under your control this turn. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1 green and white Kithkin creature token. This is an enchantment. So this isn't sort of a raid thing. This is a, I guess it resets every turn. So like at the beginning of each turn, it summons 1 token. It's the beginning of combat. And it doesn't matter which phase it's in. So technically, you do main phase, you summon a bunch of shit. Then it summons another +1 in your combat turn. And whatever that number of creatures is, you gain that in encounters. I mean, I guess it's not encounters, it's just a temporary buff. But it doesn't say until end of turn. Could it be permanent? I don't know. I'll have to see this. This is the kind of card that makes me wish I could experiment in some kind of like lab setting. Let me also capture my cursor. Okay, a legendary. Marlin Fey Ascendant. That is 5 mana with black, green, and blue. She is a very noble elf, much like every girl in her 20s. Has flying for a 4/5. Mana cost seems alright. Let's see what she does. Whenever Marlin, or another elf or fairy you control enters, exile the top 2 cards of target opponent's library. She's a mill creature. Once each turn, you may cast a spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of elves and fairies. You may cast a spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of elves or fairies you control from among the cards exiled when Marlin this turn without paying its mana cost. So you exile 2 cards once each turn, and it's a target opponent, so you can target yourself. Once each turn, you may cast a spell with mana value less than or equal to the number of elves or fairies you control from among the cards exiled with Marlin this turn without paying its mana cost. So depending on how many fairies or elves you have, you can cast your opponent's spells if they're cheap enough. This is very roundabout. And it's every time an alpha fairy enters, you get to mill more cards. So, yeah, sure, yeah, I can kind of see this. It obviously has, I don't know if it's necessarily part of a mill deck, because it has to be milled specifically by Marilyn. And it has to be in a sort of elf fairy deck to even function, because it matters how many of those you have currently out. This might be interesting. Formidable Speaker, 3 mana in green for 2/4. When this creature enters, you may discard a card. If you do, search your library for a creature card, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. So you throw one out, and then you search for something, put it in your hand. And then for 1 mana, you get to untap another target permanent. This is probably going to be the strong bit of it, on top of doing a search. But untapping something, it taps itself, so you can't just keep repeating it. It's quite interesting. Maybe it'll see play. Oh, and a transform. Alright. This is a lot of text, so strap in. Sig Wonderwine Wisdom. 2 mana and blue for 2/2. He can't be blocked. He's a merfolk and a wizard and is a legendary. Whenever this creature enters or transforms into... Wait, what? Whenever this creature enters or transforms into itself, target creature gains, whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, draw a card until end of turn. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may pay 1 white if you do transform Sig. And he turns into Sig Wander Brine Shield, which is now a white card, and he's a rogue instead of a wizard. He still can be blocked. Whenever this creature transforms into itself, target creature you control gains protection from each color until your next turn. At the beginning of your first main phase, you may play 1 blue. Okay, so you constantly have to flip this thing. So you're constantly paying 1 mana each turn. But in return, target creature gets either draw a card when you deal damage, which is probably best used on itself since it can't be blocked, or protection from each color until your next turn. Ideally, I imagine you'd want the card draw more than you want the protection from each color. If it just so happens to be in blue, you can't flip it at any time because it's at the beginning of your first main phase, so it has to be your turn. So it's not an instant speed sort of thing. I don't know if this is super strong. It's interesting. It's card draw for blue, and maybe there's easier ways of getting card draw. I don't know. I'm not convinced by it. It's interesting, but I got a second one of these, which is super rad because I want all of these. To me, this is the most interesting card so far. We unpacked one. Dawnhand Descendant. 1 black for 1/2. Let me tap for Blight 1 or Blight 2. If I Blight 1, I can Surveil. If I Blight 2, exile target card from a graveyard. During your turn, you may cast creature spells from among your cards. Sorry, I lost the linguistic line here. You may cast creature spells from among cards you own, exiled with this... I feel like there should be a comma here, but that's fine. Exiled with this creature by removing 3 counters from among creatures you control. Let me try that again. First, you exile a card from a graveyard. When it's my turn, you may cast creature spells from my own exile pit that are exiled by this creature by removing 3 counters from among creatures you control in addition to paying their other costs. I mean, I guess you blight 2, and because it counts as a counter, it's a -1, -1. So I can remove -1 counters and it still counts, right? Doesn't mean they have to be positive. So cast creatures from my exile and remove 3 -1 counters from among creatures I control, in addition to paying their costs. Okay. Maybe. Maybe this is an interesting proposition. It's very cheap. The surveil bit of it, not entirely convinced. But, yeah, alright. What's the last one? Hey, I got a fucking shockland. Pay 2 life. And it's reset. Wow. I'm gonna have 4 more. Lucky us. I'll just look at the new ones, I guess. How is this? I guess it is here. Scarblade's Malice. 1 black. It's an instant. Target creature you control gains death, touch, and lifelink until end of turn. This creature dies this turn. Create a 1/1, a 2/2 black elf. So you could mess someone up after they've declared blockers. Guilt Leaf's Embrace. 3 mana, enchantment aura with flash. Enchanted creature, when this aura enters, enchanted creature gains trample and indestructible until end of turn. Enchanted creature gets +2 power. Three mana for a save and trample. I can only think of it in terms of my green landfall deck. Maybe you could have the mana to do this. Giving it +2 and trample is also quite nice, even if the trample is temporary. But most of the strong cards in that deck already sort of have trample. I'm not convinced. Chaos Spewer. 3 mana with a hybrid black-red. 5/4 Goblin Warlock. This creature enters, you may pay 2 if you don't blight 2. Okay, so it's a 5/4 if you pay an additional 2, if not blight 2. But clearly there's mechanics to remove counters. In a goblin deck, maybe this is good. Brambleback Brute. That's quite lovely. Okay. 3 mana, 4/5. Shows up with 2- counters on it. Remove a counter from this creature. Target creature can't block this turn. Activate only as a sorcery. Alright. that could enable some aggro haste shit. Rooftop Percher. It is a 5 colorless shapeshifter. There's changeling on it, so it's technically every creature type. There's flying. Exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards. You gain 3 life. So maybe with those self-exile cards you can do something. Changelings have had some support over the years from what I know, so should be alright. Elderonti, 3 mana for 2/2. Oh, and it creates a token. It's black and both are goblins, so this is just more support for the goblin decks. It's not super extravagant, but it's good enough. Tributary Volta, 3 mana for 1/3. It's a merfolk. It's flying, and whenever the creature becomes tapped, another merfolk you control gets +2 power until end of turn. I mean, I guess there is already sort of support for having merfolk tapping each other. So maybe this isn't too bad. Again, I'm not too familiar with any merfolk decks, so I don't really know. Second copy of that. Riverguard's Reflexes, 2 mana in white. It's an instant that gives you +2/+2 and first strike until end of turn, and it also gets untapped. So it's like pseudo-vigilance with +2/+2? Maybe. I hardly think this is going to be super useful, but maybe I'm wrong. Ranged Flamecaster is a 3 mana 3/2 with reach. It's an elemental. Whenever you cast a spell with mana value 4 or greater, this creature deals 2 damage. It's more of this sort of burn deck. I imagine his prowess is going to sort of consume some of these cards. There was a blue one before, but like it's 4 or greater that bugs me. What spells is it prowess casting that are 4 or greater when they can cast like 7 1 mana cost spells or something like that? It's not really convincing to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong. Feisty Spikeling. 1/1 hybrid. It's a changeling. During your turn, this creature has first strike. Outside of the goofy art, I don't know. I guess it can be a goblin as well. And it can be a Kithkin. It can be anything. Maybe this has value, but... I don't know. I'll see it when it kills me. Boulder Dash, it's a 2 mana sorcery, deals 2 damage to any target and 1 damage to any other target. Okay, so it's a shock plus, but it's not an instant, so it's a sorcery. Maybe. It's prowess friendly, and maybe also burn friendly. It's any target, so you can also technically hit face for 2. Wonder Brine Trapper, 1 mana in white. 2/1, and for 1 mana you can tap to tap another untapped creature you control. Okay, there's a lot of tapping going on here. You pay 1 mana and tap this, then you tap another creature you control, and then you tap target creature and opponent control. So you've tapped this, you've tapped something else, and you can tap an opponent. So 3 things get tapped for 1 mana. But since it's merfolk, you gain some benefit from it. Omni Changeling. 3 colorless and 2 Blue give you a 0/0 changeling with Convoke. You may have this creature enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield except it has changeling. And you can Convoke this. That feels quite strong. I've already seen a deck archetype show up that has whatchamacallit, Badger Maw, Cub, and what is it called? Mirror something. Let me find it. I posted about it the other day. Mirror Room Fractured something. And Rites of Replications and Seasons of Weavings. So maybe this will play into that. Just copy your opponent's stuff a lot. That might be really good. Pestered Well Guard. 3 colorless, 1 blue. A 3/2. Merfolk. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, create a new fairy 1/1. With flying. If it was creating merfolks, maybe. If not, I don't know. Don't have much of an opinion on it. Deep Channel Duelist. 2 mana. For 2/2, at the beginning of your end step, untap target merfolk you control. Other merfolks you control get +1/+1. That seems permanent. It's not legendary. I wonder why they give it the gold border then. I guess because there's no colorless? I'm not entirely sure. Anyway. Sauerbread Ante. 2 colorless and 2 red for 4/3. You may oblige to. If you do, create 2 1/1 black and red goblin tokens. For goblin, yeah, this is going to be sick. You want all of those goblins. I'm pretty sure you can Convoke using those goblins, so half of the archetypes in this entire expansion are doing great for you. This is probably going to be nice. Sauerbread Ante. Look at that art. Dominic Mayer. 2 mana in black. Instant Shapeshifter, so it's a changeling as well. Target creature gets +3, -3, and loses all creature types until end of turn. And it's not a creature, so this is an instant spell, but it's also a... I guess Elemental has a lot of support for spells being of a type. I'm not entirely sure. Okay. It's time for the res. Lava Leaper. 3 colorless, 1 red for 4/4. It's an elemental. All creatures have haste, already off to a good start. Whenever a player taps a basic land for mana, that player adds 1 mana of any type that land produced. So we're just giving people Badger Maw Cub now? And everything has haste? That seems fucking busted. You know what? Let me share this card with the class. Man, sorry, my voice went when I saw that card. That's crazy. Not the is it? It's Shockland. Okay, I'll play Is It. Fine. Goliath Daydreamer. 2 colorless, 2 red for 4/4. It's a giant wizard. More support for giants, I guess. He's reading a little book. Look at him. Whenever you cast an instant or a sorcery spell from your hand, exile that card with a dream counter on it, instead of putting it into your graveyard as it resolves. Whenever this creature attacks, you may cast a spell from among cards you own in exile with stream counters on them without paying its mana cost. And it's a 4/4. Yeah, this seems rad. This seems pretty cool. And that's kind of the key art, isn't it? 3 colorless, 1 white sorcery. Exile any number of target creatures. At the beginning of the next step, return those cards to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. Until your next turn, prevent all damage that would be dealt to you. Exile Morningtide's Light. So you can basically disable your opponent for 2 turns. If you so wish. Or you could resummon a bunch of... This feels like extra support for kind of like white decks that go wide or do lifelink. Especially with that pennant thing where you can choose a type and it gives you life when you cast something of a certain type. That seems pretty tight. Man, that was a lot of cards. I have no idea what I can do with them. Holy shit, look at that. Got 2 rows of white. A row and a half of blue. About a row of black. 2 rows of red. About a row of green. And a bunch of is it. It's just a bunch of fucking is it. I don't feel like I got anything super interesting. Like, see, can I open this in any other sense? I guess not. But I guess it is an uncommon and not a rare, so your wild cards go further. And this has... yeah, it's the same card. New stuff to play with. I don't know if I have a deck already, as in like, I don't think I have enough components for it. There you go, opened up a little bit more. What's the next thing? Yeah. Let's see what Midweek Magic is. It's a jump-in event. Hello and Eclipsed. I feel like Kithkin is interesting. Let's try Kithkin. Kithkin with Vivid. Kithkin with Giants. Kithkin with Vivid. Let's try Kithkin with Vivid. I want to try Vivid as a mechanic. Obviously this is going to be probably terrible, but, you know, I just want to play around with it. With the new cards, the new expansion. I call it an expansion, I know it's a set. Excuse me for being dated. Already doing kind of bad. Sure, you know what? I like not having mana. Maybe choosing Vivid without knowing if there's any hybrid lands. Any guild gates. Can I literally play anything? Absolutely not. Let's hope I draw into mana with 42%. Okay. Oh, thank God. Okay. No card to choose. And it has no forests, no plains, no Kithkins. And it just reveals them, put them at the bottom. So I guess I wouldn't have mana in the next 4 turns. There's that card. that evil card. Sure. I can't do shit. I guess hybrid stuff counts as both. You'd still need to pay the mana for it. But that's interesting. Okay. Shit is going quite bad because I don't have any green. There we go, thank you. Okay. Let's do this. Enchant land. As this aura enters, choose a color. Enchanted land is the chosen color. Whenever this enchanted land is tapped for mana, its controller adds an additional 1 mana of the chosen color. And he already fought my thing. That feisty spikeling is going to destroy me. Let's get rid of it. It's 2 -1 counters. And now I can't block. I'm really getting it handed to me. That removes 1. Finally getting some damage in. It's been so long. Whenever a creature you attack alone, get +X/+X until end of turn. God damn it. now I have nothing. I have fucking genuinely nothing. This is a wall, essentially. I don't have 4 Kithkin. Oh, because this is also technically a Kithkin in itself. Alright. I'm not playing the vivid part as well. As I could. I guess I shouldn't think of it as like I have to have all 5 colors already on the board before I use a vivid. I should just use it whenever. All of his shit has double strike. All the giants you control have double strike. Okay. Well, this has to go. This goes like this. The Bulwer aggressor in a giant's deck is stupid. Because giants are already kind of big. Like this card to me is impressive. We printed card? Huh. That's about all I get. Mm-hmm. You just have to block with it and you win. My dude. Okay. I guess I should. Oh, and you can't resign, so I have to keep playing this deck. Oh, fuck. Oh, fuck. Oh, damn it. Sure. You know what? Fine. This is the card I didn't like. This is the card I did like, though. And so next turn I can just pay for that, or get the extra. Figure or fable. So far, good value, I would posit. I know he plays some kind of sweep, or doesn't. He scoops at instant speed. Okay. I'm not interested in old sets too much. Sure. I don't have any round one things, so I'll just play Temple Garden. Already in shambles. Let's get mana. Can you creature have flying, please? I don't really have solutions. Oh, it doesn't work that way. Right. Till end of turn, so I just tapped for nothing. I have made a funny deck for funny people. And now he scoops. Right? Just plays everything so it can't. Hey, if I pump at 3 damage, I don't think I can pump at 3 damage. Let's see if protection from all works. Still dies. Okay, doesn't work that way. I gambled. And he just gets to walk all over me. I'm not doing well. I just feel like these cards aren't synergizing at all. The whole vivid thing. Three, 7. I keep drawing mana. Like, what am I supposed to do? Like, this mana is 5 mana for a 1/1 token. I'm paying 5 for 1. What do you mean? Let's remove 2 counters. You can't just do that. It has no counters on it. Yeah, let's enchant a fucking land. I don't understand why this is 5 mana. I really don't. Because you can keep doing it over and over, I suppose, and they don't want you to flood the board unless you have 10 mana to cast 2 Kithkin. I don't know. It feels just a little bit off. Like, even if it was 4, it would be too much. Even if it was 3, it would be too much. I'm paying 500%. Can't play the Eclipsed Kithkin, but I can play the other one. And just tapped. I've already lost. Goliath, daydreaming. Like, this feels like a profoundly hopeless combination. And even knows what to remove. Like, why are Kithkins so expensive? Why are all their abilities so fucking expensive, huh? So that they can't do this twice a turn? This is turning into why I literally play anything that doesn't have red in it. It's kind of getting there. Like, this deck is mostly green. Green! And I'm not... I need to have an opening green, is what that means. I have to have an opening green, and if I don't, I concede. So there's a 4% chance? Mulligan. Alright, there's some green. There's some scratch. Excuse me. Great force of the druids. Okay, doubles. Okay, I think I served perfection on this. Hmm. Should have put it on the Great Forest Druid. How much mana he has? Dude! How are they drawing so much mana and still playing cards? This is what I don't understand. I feel like I'm the unluckiest Magic player to ever live. Hmm? Do you have to greenlight this? Who's asking you? Let's hope you don't draw the solution to your problems right now. How come they always top deck the solution to their problems? I don't understand. This is it. This is my life. Gotta love a counterspell in a pre-made format. Somehow you dig it out. Okay, that gives me 3 vivid for next turn, I think. Hey, I won with the Kithkin Vivid deck. Incredible. You're trading a higher value thing for a lower value thing. I don't know if you want to do that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, spiral into solitude for you. You have a what? You have a what in your fucking pre-made little fucking deck? You have a what? A what? You have a fucking planeswalker in your fucking deck? Man, Figure of Fable. What a cool card. Oh, thank you. Okay, we can get 2 more. I already have 12.5% of the set. That one we saw. Another Revolving Wilds reprint, which I already had. Where's it near? Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. Kith you control also gain first strike. It's quite nice. Bilevile Bogut. This creature dies +1, -1/-1. One target creature. Seems alright. Burning Curiosity, not an elemental. There's an additional cost to cast the spell. You may blight 1. So the two cards of your library. If this spell's additional cost was paid, exile the top 3 cards instead. Until the end of your next turn, you may play those cards. There's an additional cost to cast this spell. You may blight 1. Send a strike deals 2 damage to target creature. Deals 4 damage to creature instead of the spell's additional cost was paid. Okay. God, all of these elementals look so fucking rad. +1/+0 gains menace until end of turn. Flashy Changeling for you control decks. Shouldn't take a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield directly, and if it isn't your main phase, blight 2. Five mana resurrect. As an instant? Sure. Vinebred Brawler. This creature must be blocked if able. This creature attacks another elf you control gets 2/1 until end of turn. Okay. Dundoolin Weaver. This creature enters if you control 3 or more creatures. Return target permanent card from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Cheap little graveyard to hand. That's nice. That's a nice piece of art. That's sick. Destroy target creature with mana value 1 or less. 2 or less, sorry. If the spell's additional cost was paid again, 2 life. 2 life for a permanent blight? I don't know. Probably not. That's also quite pretty. Draw 3 cards, then discard 2 cards unless you discard a creature card. Eclipsed, we've kind of seen you, haven't we? 1 more Marlin. And 2 more Shocklands. Yippee. Maybe finally I'll get a set of Shocklands. Well, that was it, I feel, for today. Sorry, I'm a little bit demoralized recently. See you again soon. Thanks for watching.